It's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another sponsored review of an ICO that's actually going on right now. As you can see on the screen, I'm referring to SyncFab, guys, a manufacturing blockchain ICO. What I like about this company is that they have an existing company. SyncFab is not new. They formed in 2014, and their sole mission was to really help manufacturers or companies that need things what they call fabricated on different CNC machines and equipment like that. Products produced, you're able to rent these machines at a fraction of the cost versus you going out and buying the machines or investing in the equipment yourself. So we're gonna go through that now, but it's funny because this whole subject and topic about supply chain tokens and ICOs and companies came up on my last live stream, Off the Chain with Crypto Blood, episode number 1. A caller actually called in, and I asked him, I said, what's your favorite, what are you looking at this year, and what really excites you? And he mentioned supply chain type of tokens. I don't think he mentioned SyncFab in particular, but when I was doing and wrapping up my due diligence for this company, it made me laugh, because I'm like, this guy just talked about this. So this is pretty good segue into SyncFab and what they are offering, and I can see now why the gentleman that called in, I think it may have been J Credible 86, I can now see why he was very excited about supply chain technologies, in particular regarding blockchain, and companies kind of exploiting that new paradigm shift that we're entering, and how that can really help mitigate a lot of costs for many companies. So we're gonna go ahead and look into that. Before we do that, though, here's their ICO site. But what's more important, as I stated, they have an existing company established in 2014. And what this company, SyncFab, original goal and intent was to help companies source CNC machining for different projects and products that you may need what they call fabricated. So this was an excellent idea that they currently have, and it's live. You know, they're actually live and taking customers with SyncFab. But this is an example of why I like companies and ICOs like this that have existing a book of business that they can scale out to very quickly, in my opinion, once this whole ICO thing is over. And SyncFab's website, again, caters toward the enterprise, buyers, and machine shops, connecting all of those individuals to help bring costs down and make the whole process easier. As you can see here, they've drawn out here, illustrated a 3-step easy process for parts production. Step 1, RFQs. Submit and manage your RFQ with custom options for production, speed, material, and so on. Step 2, select the best on-demand quote and order from our dynamic machine shop network. And then finally, step 3, track your order with real-time notifications on production and shipping dates. So again, SyncFab, originally, this is their original existing business, is groundbreaking, and they're really working to change the whole CNC fab industry, in my opinion, and they're doing a great job already. So when I hear companies like this just really pivoting slightly to the blockchain, their success rate is going to be much higher, in my opinion. Now let me go back over to the splash screen so you can see that. It's blockchain.syncfab.com. So get over there. You can check out the details on the token sale. Their token is MFG. And again, it's ending March 15th, guys, at 9 a.m. Pacific time, standard time. 16 days roughly. And it says here, SyncFab revolutionizes the manufacturing supply chain by connecting buyers directly to hardware manufacturers through blockchain. So again, what they're doing is taking their existing model and shifting it into the new paradigm, which is blockchain. So this is, I'm telling you guys, this is awesome. I'm very excited about companies that are doing this. Not companies that are starting from scratch and getting into blockchain, but companies that have an existing business model and are looking to migrate over to the blockchain. In my opinion, again, book of business is there already, and they'll be able to scale even more, even faster than a company versus a company that just starts from scratch, looking to enter an industry and disrupt it with blockchain technology. So as we scroll down here, you will see their recent ratings from ICO trackers, and you got Track ICO, Angel, ICO Guru, and Crypto Rated. Now, one may say, I mean, you know, these ratings are, how much value, how much merit do these ratings have? Well, you know, if there was just one, maybe two, maybe, but we've got 3 different rating, crypto rating agencies, if you want to call them ICO rating agencies, or companies that have given these guys near perfect scores. Track ICO 5 out of 5. Angel, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this one correctly, 97 out of 100. ICO Guru 4.2 out of 5, and Crypto Rated 4.3 out of 5. But what's even more impressive here is an article from Angel's blog that shows the top 32 ICOs, and this was not really mentioned on SyncFab's website, but if you look here, SyncFab is actually number 3, guys, number 3. And it just kind of runs down, you know, their detail on SyncFab here. So I was very impressed with a number 3 rating from Angel's top 32 ICOs in the 4th quarter of 2017. So that's excellent. But back to their site here, I'm just going to kind of run down a couple of details here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this video, because sometimes, you know, a visual is better. So let's take a look at this, people.
Most transactions need a middleman who reserves the privileged access to a centralized asset controller. This leads to poor communication, lack of transparency, and limited insights into the supply chain process, hindering the relationship between purchasers and manufacturers. Not to mention the overhead costs of the brokers, which only adds up to your overall revenue cycle. Therefore, most suppliers today are looking to move towards a blockchain, the backbone technology behind Bitcoin, which stores all the supply chain information data in blocks with timestamps and shares it across the whole cryptocurrency ecosystem with a secure digital signature. SyncFab is a US-based Silicon Valley technology company that dynamically connects innovators and manufacturers through the world's first peer-to-peer blockchain for the manufacturing supply chain. Source, collaborate, and manage all your supply chain parts production, on demand and in real time. Powered by the MFG Token, the smart manufacturing blockchain is a decentralized system of records and transactions executed through millions of linked blocks in which its information is verified and agreed upon simultaneously by a distributed consensus network, accessible to anybody with an internet computer. The SyncFab decentralized app utilizes smart contracts executed on blockchain to complement the existing SyncFab procurement process in order to build transparency and streamline the procurement process. What's more, purchasers can source directly with manufacturers. No more brokers and intermediaries. Purchasers can reward manufacturers with MFG, and manufacturers can reward buyers for agreeing to reorder placement, creating a decentralized economy where all parties are equally incentivized for their efforts. The best part? Our MFG tokens are built on the Ethereum blockchain, making it easily accessible, fully encrypted, and 100% secure, with instantaneous communication and financial transaction features. Build trust within the SyncFab smart manufacturing blockchain through transparent and secure smart contracts, and increase your productivity and revenue with the MFG token today.
So I hope that maybe helped clarify some things for some of you out there looking into this ICO, or maybe taking a second thought about it. So you may ask, CB, well, how does this token add value? Like, where's the value in having an MFG token? And you know, I would say here that, as you can see here, the MFG token is a utility token used on the SyncFab platform to reward purchasers and manufacturers, make payments, protect intellectual properties, promote trust and transparency through the execution of smart contracts on the blockchain. So you'll create, with this token, you're able to create unique bid auctions to incentivize manufacturers for fast quotes with MFG. MFG loyalty rewards can be offered for consistent reorders. Buyers are qualified through an upfront MFG token commitment. And lastly, manufacturers can provide discounts on the quoted price with MFG tokens. So let's take a look at their roadmap. They actually, in full disclosure, they did have a private sale that happened, I think, in November of last year. But we'll break down the whole token distribution and all that good stuff. It still is a good fit if you're looking to purchase and participate in their public ICO. So we'll get into the details of that. But it says here Q4 of 2013 is when SyncFab was created. 2015. SyncFab 1.0 launches local product development, design, and manufacturing ecosystem. And in the third quarter of 2016, a very important milestone occurred for SyncFab. The White House and DOE add SyncFab into the Clean Energy Smart Manufacturing Innovation Institute, which was a very big accomplishment for SyncFab. Going down to 2017, is when in Q4 of 2017, SyncFab did their token pre-sale, and as we sit today, we're in our public token sale with SyncFab early 2018. So what the future holds for SyncFab, they're looking to format buyer blockchain smart contracts in 2018, and also by Q4 of 2018 they want to format manufacturing blockchain smart contracts, and in 2019 launch SyncFab 3.0 decentralized smart manufacturing blockchain platform. So as I stated, let's double back and review over their funding goals, and also break down the allocation of funds and how those funds will be used. So initially, they've got a minimum goal reached of 500 ETH. They were able to successfully reach that. And they're actually almost going to hit their soft cap of 15,000 ETH, which is roughly about $15 million. Today, it's just shy of 15, maybe about 14 million, or 13.8 million, something like that. So they're just shy, and if I scroll back up, I'll let you guys know right now. Yeah, they're very close. They've got 14,361 ETH raised, so very close to reaching that soft cap, and their 10% bonus actually ends in 2 days, guys. So if you know, there's still some time to get a 10% bonus there with this token sale. But back down to the actual their goals here. The hard cap is 33,000 ETH, and that's at roughly 30 million, just shy of 30 million at today's ETH prices. They've done a private ICO, if you want to call it, or raise. Soft cap has been reached, or it's going to be reached for sure, and they're on the fast track here. And what I think what really impressed me the most is, as I've stated, they have an existing business, right? We're gonna go over their team. Their team is solid. Their advisory team or board is very solid. Some very heavy hitters there, and I'm just overall very impressed with SyncFab and their efforts here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the breakdown of their ICO and what the funds will be used. So the total supply for the SyncFab ICO is going to be 1 billion MFGs. But of that, only 30% of that is actually being offered to the public. So there'll be a supply of about 300 million MFG tokens for the public, okay, and that's part of the ICO and actual usage in their system, in their platform. The founders and advisory board and bounty all total 10%, which is fair and is a good percentage. It's not too much, in my opinion. And then we also have the SyncFab technological development portion is 15%, and then the smart MFG tech, that's the ecosystem, is another 15%. So they're going to allocate that to just making sure that the system is running in a healthy manner, and then the other 15% will be for, I'm assuming, research and development to, you know, always look to improve on the system. And that's a good breakdown, in my opinion. I do want to show you guys the founders, talk about the founders, but before we do that, I want to go into a little bit more detail about, give you kind of a framework to understand what the problem is, and then what the solution that SyncFab is offering for this problem. So the problem in today's manufacturing process is that intermediaries and large procurement firms control the access into many hardware manufacturing companies. They increase prices, don't provide intellectual property protection, and make it difficult for small innovators and medium-sized businesses to easily source manufacturing. 31% of buyers cite finding the right manufacturing supplier as being a problematic issue. 39% have experienced security breaches in the last 12 months, and inefficient product procurement processes account for yearly losses of $15 billion in revenue within North American businesses. So that kind of sets the stage for you as far as, you know, what issues are currently being experienced in the manufacturing industry, especially on the supply chain side. There's an interesting, or I found a very interesting tidbit or fact that I would love to share with you guys, and that comes from a site that the title of the site is 15 supply chain management statistics that may surprise you. And the one that really stuck out to me, guys, was actually number 2. Check that out. It says here, the number of companies not looking at supply chain automation is currently as high as 40%, but will drop to 17% by the end of 2018. Now that should show you and set the stage. And now I understand why the caller that called in the other night was so excited about supply chain tokens and ICOs and blockchain integrating with supply chains, is because there are so many companies that aren't utilizing the, technologies like blockchain in a way to really flatten their cost structure. So you see this statistic, as high as 40% are not looking for supply chain automation solutions. But it says here will drop to 17%, they project, by the end of 2018. And I personally think this is because of blockchain technology, solutions like SyncFab. So I believe that companies like SyncFab will be able to really take a large market share of those 40% that aren't actively looking to improve their business model and their processes, their workflows, with enhancing and increasing efficiencies within their supply chain processes. So this is great, man. And when I saw that, I was like, yes, this is exactly how I see SyncFab fitting in and really taking a lot of market share and making those, ultimately those MFG tokens will increase in price. It just is what it is, because as more companies start to use SyncFab, they have to have MFG tokens to utilize the platform and take full benefit or advantage of the platform. So now that we've kind of looked at the problem, right, and I've kind of given you a framework and set the stage for how much market share is still left there to be taken, let's talk about SyncFab's solution and how they're going to really bring great solutions to this problem using blockchain technology. So SyncFab, being established in 2013, has developed an online decentralized buyer to manufacturer platform that aggregates all orders and sends requests directly to manufacturers that match the buyer's requirements on the smart manufacturing blockchain. So this basically eliminates intermediaries utilizing our smart contracts to streamline procurement processes and eliminate wasted labor hours on miscommunication and so on and so forth. So even further, let's talk about their DApp, their decentralized application, and how that works within this whole new ecosystem. So it says here, SyncFab is the first peer-to-peer industrial Internet of Things manufacturing blockchain for the hardware manufacturing supply chain. Manufacturers list their machining capabilities straight to SyncFab's platform, and hardware buyers can send part orders directly to them. Smart contracts guarantee production standards, protect intellectual property, and guarantee payments. The blockchain makes the supply chain more efficient and cost effective. So let's take a look at this graphic here, and it kind of shows you the flow of, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit for you on this. This shows you the flow from the actual innovator to the manufacturer to the actual supply or shipping carriers, which in totality represents the new supply chain 3.0 or 2.0, how, whatever version you want to call it. But this will definitely cut down on cost and time, which is all equates into more money in your pocket. So what I want to highlight, though, you'll see these blue lines here, right, within this graphic. These blue lines represent transactions of the MFG token. So these are where you insert the MFG tokens into this whole process. So you see a very, very good use case for their token, and you can see where the demand for their tokens will be in high demand, I should say. Let's take a look at their executive team, because this was again, these are the factors and points that I look at. I want to see a strong executive team. I want to see, even more importantly, I want to see some type of experience in the industry. It'll be even a plus, an added benefit if that company already exists in industry and they're just pivoting and making it better with blockchain, as we see with SyncFab. And so let's take a look. Jeremy Goodwin is the CEO of SyncFab. So Jeremy served as EVP and CFO of China Advanced Construction Materials Company, leading it to peak performance of 2,000 employees and a NASDAQ IPO. That is amazing. This guy has if you're able to lead a company to an IPO, you definitely have the skills that it takes to succeed or make a company succeed. So the CSO is Andy Tong. So Andy is a successful entrepreneur known for founding the top online gaming portal MMOABC, which garnered millions of monthly visitors from North America with zero spent on advertising. Amazing. And their team of advisors looks pretty strong as well. I don't personally know any of these names except Jeff Burrick and Mr. Spargway from Rivets. I'm familiar with him. But yeah, overall, man, very solid team. And I want to highlight one other part, and that is market potential. So it says here in 2014, exported goods within the United States were an estimated $1.4 trillion, and there's a worldwide expected growth of 15 trillion bucks by 2030. Additionally, companies within the United States are investing heavily in IoT technologies, with spending estimated to be around $20 billion in 2012 and an approximate projection of $500 billion by 2020. These investments are expected to yield a return on investment to the global GDP as high as 10 to 15 trillion by 2030. For every dollar spent on manufacturing within the United States alone, $1.81 is expected to be added to the economy. So let me know your thoughts about this, guys. This MFG, again, it's just, for me, it resonates pretty well, because I just had a conversation with the guy on my live stream about what he thought was his, I asked him, what was your most exciting industry or token or style of token industry, and he said supply chain. And now I really I've started to see why this is the case. There's a lot of room for because a lot of verticals, a lot of industries within tech, or not in tech, but just within business, where tech can go is very limited nowadays. There aren't many areas where you can be, the pioneer in really disrupting. And I think that supply chain style companies that they're looking to move into the blockchain era is going to really render a lot of profits for the companies and possibly the individuals who hold those tokens. So definitely let me know your thoughts. Again, the ICO ends March 15th, 2018. and they are just shy of their soft cap. So make sure you get token before the soft cap ends, and more importantly, make sure you if you do want to buy those tokens, get them before the 28th of February, which is in 2 days, or a day. It's in a day here, so make sure you get that. All right, it's your boy Crypto Blood. I'm out.